secret garden of the Firefly Queen. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by dense enchanted woods, there lived a young boy named Leo. The village was known for its lush meadows and sparkling streams, but its true treasure was the fireflies that lit up the night sky like tiny golden stars. The villagers believed the fireflies were a gift from the Firefly Queen, a mystical being who lived deep within the woods in a secret garden. The garden was said to be a place of unimaginable beauty, where flowers glowed in the dark, and the air was filled with the scent of magic. Leo had always been fascinated by the fireflies. Every evening, he would sit by the edge of the woods, watching them dance and listening to their soft hum. His father, the village's carpenter, had told him stories of the Firefly Queen, how she was the guardian of the forest and the keeper of its secrets. But there was one secret about the garden that no one knew, a secret that had been hidden for generations. One night, as Leo sat by the woods, he noticed something unusual. The fireflies, usually so bright and lively, seemed dim and sluggish. Their light flickered faintly, and their movements were slow and erratic. Leo's heart ached as he realized something was wrong. He ran to his father, his voice trembling with worry. "Father, the fireflies are fading," he cried. His father's face grew pale as he looked at the fireflies. "The fireflies' light is connected to the magic of the secret garden," he said softly. "If their light goes out, the garden will wither, and the forest will lose its magic. Someone must find the garden and restore its light." Leo's heart raced. "I'll do it," he said firmly. "I'll find the garden and save the fireflies." His father placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "The journey will not be easy," he warned. "The garden is hidden deep within the woods, and the path is filled with trials. But if you follow the fireflies, they will guide you." Determined to save the fireflies, Leo packed a small bag with food, a lantern, and a jar to carry the fireflies. He kissed his father goodbye and set off into the woods, his eyes fixed on the faint glow of the fireflies. The path led him through dense trees and tangled underbrush, the air thick with the scent of moss and earth. As he walked, the fireflies' light grew dimmer, and the woods seemed to darken with each step. Soon he reached a clearing where the trees formed a natural archway, their branches intertwined like the fingers of giants. Beyond the archway was a narrow trail that wound deeper into the woods. As he ventured deeper, he began to hear whispers, faint and eerie, carried on the wind. The whispers grew louder, and soon he saw shadows moving among the trees, their forms shifting and writhing like smoke. "Leo," the shadows hissed, their voices cold and hollow. "Turn back. The woods are no place for you." Leo clutched the jar tightly, his breath quickening. "I won't turn back," he said firmly. "I have to save the fireflies." The shadows lunged at him, their forms swirling around him like a storm. Leo raised his lantern, and the light drove them back, but they were relentless. He ran, his feet pounding against the forest floor, the shadows close behind. Just as he thought he couldn't run any farther, he saw a faint glow ahead, a clearing bathed in golden light. He stumbled into the clearing, his heart racing, and saw the secret garden. It was a place of unimaginable beauty, with flowers that glowed in the dark, and trees whose leaves shimmered like silver. At the center of the garden was a small pond, its surface reflecting the light of the fireflies like a mirror. But what caught Leo's attention was the figure standing by the pond. A woman with long, flowing hair and eyes that glowed like embers. She was the Firefly Queen. The Queen's face was filled with sorrow as she looked at Leo. "The garden is dying," she said, her voice melodic and haunting. "The magic that sustains it is fading, and with it, the light of the fireflies." Leo's heart ached as he looked around the garden. The flowers' glow was dim, and the air was heavy with the scent of decay. He knew he had to act quickly. He reached into his bag and pulled out the jar, its glass reflecting the faint light of the fireflies. "What can I do to save the garden?" he asked. The queen pointed to the pond. "The water in the pond is the source of the garden's magic, but it has been poisoned by a darkness that grows stronger with each passing day. You must purify the water, but be warned, the darkness will not give up its hold easily." Leo approached the pond, his heart pounding. He dipped the jar into the water, and its light began to flicker and fade. He knew he had to act quickly. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small vial of clear water he had collected from a spring in the village. His father had always told him that the spring's water was pure and full of life, and he hoped it would be enough to counteract the darkness. He poured the water into the pond, and for a moment, nothing happened. Then, the water began to churn and bubble, the darkness swirling violently. Leo stepped back, his heart in his throat, as the water began to clear, its blackness fading away. The shadows around him howled in fury, their forms weakening as the light from the jar grew stronger. But just as he thought the darkness was gone, a figure emerged from the pond. A man with eyes as dark as the night and a voice like thunder. He was the embodiment of the darkness, his form shifting and writhing like smoke. "You cannot destroy me," he said, his voice cold and menacing. "I am the embodiment of the world's hidden pain and sorrow. For generations, people have buried their secrets and fears, and I have fed on them. You cannot erase what they have tried so hard to forget." Leo's mind raced. He realized the man was right. The darkness was not just in the pond, but in the hearts of people. He thought of the stories his father had told him, of the struggles and sacrifices that had shaped the world. He knew he had to confront the truth, not just for the garden, but for the world itself. "You're right," Leo said, his voice steady. "The world has its secrets and its pain, but we also have hope and love, and that is stronger than any darkness." He held up the jar, its light shining brighter than ever, and began to sing. It was a song his father had taught him, a song of hope and healing. As he sang, the light from the jar spread through the garden, chasing away the shadows and filling the air with warmth. The man's form began to waver, his cold beauty fading as the light grew stronger. He let out a final, piercing scream, and then he was gone, his darkness dissolved by the light. The garden fell silent, the pond now filled with clear, sparkling water. Leo knelt by the pond, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The jar's light was steady now, its glow warm and comforting. He knew the darkness was gone, and the garden's magic was safe. As he made his way back to the village, the woods seemed brighter, the shadows gone. The path through the meadows was bathed in golden light, the fireflies shining brighter than ever. When he reached the village, his father was waiting for him, his eyes filled with pride. "You have done well, my son," he said. "The fireflies will shine brightly because of you." And so, Leo continued to sit by the edge of the woods every night, his eyes fixed on the fireflies. The secret garden, its strength renewed, flourished once more, its beauty a reminder of the power of hope and love. Leo, the boy who had faced his fears and uncovered the truth, became a legend in his own right. His story was passed down through generations, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always a way to bring light back into the world. And so, the village surrounded by enchanted woods thrived, its light a beacon of hope in the night. The fireflies, once fading, now shone brighter than ever, and Leo, the boy who had saved them, continued to watch them dance, his heart filled with wonder and gratitude. The end.